What's up, guys? We have a treat for you today. I'm going to go over the 3 rules to make your volleys better. If you have played someone that's super athletic and they might even have the wrong grip and their volleys are really good, there's a reason for that, and there's the 3 rules that I'm going to teach you today to follow that is really going to improve your game. And then I'm going to go over my thoughts on Tommy Paul. He was talking about how he watched the legends and learned from these legends with his volleys, and he's using that currently in his game. And I'll talk a little bit about my thought process on him, but we have video breakdown of the legends and of Tommy Paul. Let's get into it.
The legends play tennis. Coming to the net. Last night I watched Boris Becker.
Love that!
I watched Tim Henman before my first round.
And become the
Pat Rafter before my second.
So good.
And Edberg for my third round. So, been watching a lot of the legends come to the net, and it's been a little bit of inspiration for me.
All right, so now we're going to break into the rules. Let's go. So rule number 1 would be split stepping at or before the service line, like these legends. That way you can make your volley inside the box and actually hurt your opponent. Now rule number 2 would be follow the ball. This is a breakdown I did of Andy Murray, and if you watch, he follows exactly the path that the ball took, and he's always moving back and forth, okay? And this is what stops the lobs and the passing shots. And then step number 3 is split stepping and making contact while you split step, which gives you that perfect timing. Hey guys, so those are the 3 rules, and they're just very brief. This is just a video on, the quick 3 basics to it. But I'm going to break down each one in itself because each one could be made into a whole video, right? But I just briefly wanted to talk about rule number 1 because I did talk about how they can't really lob on you. So I'm standing on the service line area of this court. You can tell that from my back courts. And by getting up and making a good first volley at the service line, split stepping at the service line or in front of the service line, I'm going to make a good first volley. And that first volley is going to hurt them, okay? And if I hurt them, what's going to happen is the lob is always going to be at the service line area or in front of, and you can finish it. And you saw that in the clips, and you're going to see that with Tommy Paul later on in this clip. But if someone is constantly lobbing you and hitting deep, every once in a while, that's fine. It's tennis, right? There's going to be those crazy lucky shots. But if someone's constantly lobbing you, it's probably because there's either 3 things going on. 1 is you don't have enough pace, okay? And they're not bothered by it. 2 is placement. You're not placing it and moving them well enough. 3 would be you're not tactically approaching the net right. Maybe you're freezing up. Maybe there's something wrong with your footwork or the way you're cutting off the ball. So those are the 3 things that are stopping you and the reason you're getting lobbed. Because if we make our first split step on the service line, from there we either go in and close the net and take the ball at the out of the air at its peak, which is why we don't like pickleball, because that ruins our volleys, because we want to take the ball at the peak and put it away and use our athleticism. Or if it's deeper, guess what? You already made your split step at the service line. That's where that lob's going to be, and you're going to finish it out. Okay? So that's just a quick thing about rule number 1. And I will make more videos on that. I want to make stuff demonstrating it so that you have a visual. And I will do that in the next coming days, all right? So let's go check out these clips next of Tommy Paul. And I'm going to break down exactly the 3 rules. I'm just going to show, all right, there's rule number 1, there's rule number 2, there's rule number 3. So in this first clip, you're going to see the 2 rules. Tommy Paul's in control of the point. He's going to follow this in with a swing volley. Now notice after the swing volley, when he split steps, it's right at the service line so that he can cover the next ball, which ends up being a lob. It's what we just talked about. Then that leads to rule number 2. He's going to follow his ball back in the court for the winning volley. Now the third step is he's just split stepping and making the step on contact for the volley, which helps with my thoughts on Tommy Paul. I didn't think he has a lot of firepower. I never did. He's more of a spin player. He can fly out the ball a bit, but he's not a guy that's going to hit you off the court. So the fact that he talked about that he was watching these legends and learning how to attack the net, I think is awesome. I think he's an all-around player, and I think he's one that you would see an all-around 4-5-5-0 player be. Of course at a lower level, but you're going to see a well-rounded player, someone that can do everything but no huge weapon. I mean, if you look at his kick serve, He's got a nice kick serve. It's nothing superly impressive. He has to work a little bit more for his points, but he's able to apply pressure now with the net, which is huge, right? And that's what you saw in the past too. These guys didn't have the biggest weapons, Edberg and McEnroe, but what they did is they applied pressure with their net game. That was their weapon. That was their put away shot. So I love that Tommy Paul's adding that to his game. I think he's a great illustration of an all-around player with no big weapons that you can watch and learn from. All right, so hopefully he does good in the rest of this tournament. I think he's playing a semifinal later today and then in the future. All right, till next time, guys.